In this video, I'm going to show you how to make halftime drum and bass like Ivy Lab. Now we're going to be using the Neuro DnB pack, and if you want this exact project right now, then it's available in the pack. So you can literally download it and then have it on your computer, Ableton as well, and of course the stems. But if you just want to follow along and you want the project template, then there's a free download to the project template. So you get all these nice colors along the side here, and it's just a lot easier with your workflow. So what is halftime? Halftime is basically the pace of the track is half the BPM of drum and bass. But as you'll see here, we are still working in 1/7/4. We just make the drums slower. So I'll show you the drums, but let's just first listen to this one other sample that I've got in that you've just got to do in a halftime tune because it just fits so well. So this is a vocal sample and it originally sounds like this. But we got rid of the panting because that was a bit weird. So I just chopped out this sound and then I've just got this 1 beat before the drop. You can see 1 beat and then we've got it repeating every 4 bars. So let's recreate the first 4 bars of the drop. So firstly, we want Neuro Kick 11, and this sounds like this. We're going to pop this right at the start, and normally we'd put one every bar, but because it's halftime, we're going to skip this bar and just put one here. And then what we're going to do is put these groove kicks here. So we've gone on to step mode here, and then we're just going to go pop one here, and then make this shorter and pop one here. And it sounds like this on the mixer. We're going to be mixing loud for this. So in the kick drum slot, see, it's just coming below 0 dB. Now let's add in a snare. So we're going to be using Neuro Snare 15. And this is a very aggressive snare. You always want to pick a really aggressive snare for this kind of genre. And this is going to go in once a bar. Instead of twice a bar now, it's once a bar. So right in the middle of each bar, just like this. We can duplicate this kick as well over here. Snare will be coming in just as loud as the kick for this one, because it's so aggressive. Then finally we need a ride, and we're going to put this every beat. So this is Neuro Ride 2, pop this every beat, and we're just going to put the fade up a little bit because we're going to have a hi-hat here, and we want the transient of that rather than the ride one. And we can just copy this, do Control B, copy it so it's every single beat like that. And then we're going to add Neuro Hat 24. This is going to go twice every beat like this. And again, we can just do Control B to copy it all the way across like that. And then finally, I've got these little effects in the pack as well. And I just added this like static one in just before like the third clap like here, just to give a bit of variation. Obviously you're free to add your own little effects in between to see what you can come up with to add some more groove. But then this is just copied again, and that's the drums complete. So if you're enjoying my style of teaching, then my music production academy may be for you. There's a link down below for more information on that. So now let's look at the basses. So let's just look at the melody and the basses first and how they work, and then we'll recreate them. So first of all, we have this Reese bass here, and then we have a supporting bass here. And it basically plays the Reese bass, then the supporting bass here, the Reese bass again, then the supporting bass is cancelled out because the vocal comes in and then it's repeated, but there's a bit of variation here. So we're following the ABAC method for this, for the structure. So we've got A, B, A, C. And it changes every 2 bars. So this area is the same as this area. This area is a slight variation on this. And then this is also a bigger variation on this. So let's look at A first. So the melody looks like this. And then the supporting bass is here. So let's play it. And then that's the same as this section here. So we don't need to play that again. And then we'll play this B section. So the actual variation is just not having that bass there and having the vocal shout there instead. And then we do change the melody here for the Reese bass. And this is section C. So listen to this. And there we go. So now let's look at creating them. So this is the Reese bass, and it does have some post processing on it. So it's got the post processing here and then the post processing here. So what I'll do is I'll turn off the post processing. I'll do that for the other bass as well. And then we can hear what they sound like. So on D sharp, that's what this one sounds like. We'll recreate that first, and then I'll show you the extra post-processing on it afterwards. And then the second bass. So this is what it sounds like without the post-processing on. And then we'll put the post-processing on later and go through it as well so you can hear the changes. The big change on this one is reverb. That's why it sounds quite a lot different. So let's make the first bass. So let's go to oscillator A, and we're going to grab hyper from digital. Then we're going to put it down -2 octaves. Then we're going to come to the unison here and press this settings button and double click on this, and you can change it to 0 and then press enter. It's just easier than dragging it because it's hard to like pinpoint it sometimes at 0. can press that again to get rid of it, and then we can just turn this level up to max. We can then come to oscillator B, click basic shapes here, and then we can put the octave down -1. We can change the position to like this sloping down line, and then we can come to the unison as well and put this on 0 as well. Then we can just turn the level up a little bit. So currently we have something that sounds like this, but let's turn up the unison here to 5 to get more layers. Now let's come to the noise here, and what we're going to do is turn this on and turn this down, because what we're going to do is put LFO1 on here. So we're going to make an LFO1 shape like this, and like this, and then we're going to put this on trip 1/4, re-trigger here, and then we're going to put the level on it just at about like 40%. So we've got a little bit of a wobble so far, and we're going to develop that more now by going into the effects tab. So first we're going to add a hyper dimension, and what we're going to do is just turn the mix down slightly, turn the size down a bit, and then turn the mix at the end up a little bit like this. Now we're going to come here and add distortion, and we're going to change this to diode 2 and leave the rest of the settings. Now let's add some chorus, and what we're going to do is just turn this mix down, turn the depth down a bit, and leave the rest of the settings. Now we're going to add a compressor, and this is where we start to get some real sound changes. So multiband, turn the gain right up to like 13. Turn these highs down a bit because they're quite harsh, to around about 70 and 77% there. Turn the mids up a little bit to like 115, and then we'll turn these lows up a bit more to like 130. Turn this below up to 0.75 just for a bit more impact. And then we'll turn the highs and lows on this up as well for a bit more impact. Now you might be wondering currently, it sounds a bit naff, this sound. We need to shape the sound now with some more effects and these like EQ/filters. So let's come and grab an EQ first, and we're going to apply this LFO to this as well. So let's put this on the bell shape, and then we'll turn the gain up to like 9 or 10, 9.7 is fine. Turn this Q down a bit so it's a bit wider, there's a bit more bell shaped, about 40, and then we'll turn this frequency right down to 44. And then what we're going to do is make it move along the frequency range like here, and we're going to put this at 32%, 33% is fine. So now we get that, and we're going to do this on the other side as well. So let's turn this gain up to like 6, it's not as much as the low end. And then we'll turn this Q down to like 30-ish and turn this all the way up, and then we're going to do it the other way around. So we're going to push it like this. So it's up to you how much you want to push it. I'm going to do just 27%-ish, 26% is fine. Something like that. And now it's still sounding a bit muddy, so we need to get rid of that muddy area, like the 300 to 400 range. And we can do this with a filter. Now there's lots of filters you can pick, but just in this case, we'll go with a multi HN12 one. And you'll see as I change these around, it gets rid of like the muddiness and also boosts some of the low frequencies and some of the highs as well. And you can craft some really interesting sounds and really unique sounds this way as well. So let's put the cutoff to 78%, the res to 21%, the drive to 38%. And then watch what happens when I turn this up. Look at it go, look at it go, look at it go, look at it go. And we'll stop about halfway to cut out that weird frequencies there. Now listen, before, after. Just sounds a lot cleaner. And obviously you're welcome to trial and error a bit more. See if you might prefer it up here, down here. You might want to adjust these settings slightly to get different sounds, maybe put some different sort of distortion on it. You may be able to get some different sounds out of it. Try some different wavetables, see what you can come up with. But now let's look at how it sounds with the post-processing on. I'll just turn the main down, and I've set it up in channel 1. I'll just introduce each element one at a time. So this is what it sounds like with nothing. And then with this Pro MB boosting the lows and some of the mids and highs, whilst putting some of them down, we've got this. And then we've added an OTT. So this looks like this. And then finally, we've done some more boosting in the EQ with a Pro Q. You can use any EQ for this, just boosting these frequencies here. Then we've put our trusty Pro L on top of it, just to boost some of the frequencies and make sure it doesn't redline. So we get that. And then finally, if you want it to move between notes very smoothly, especially if you're changing octaves and things like that, you can come down here, click mono, legato, always, and then change this depending on how fast you want it to move. So normally about 80 to 90-ish sounds good. So somewhere like here is fine. And then when you're putting the notes down on here, so you see there's a big change here, it will move more smoothly across them. And you can overlap them as well like this to get it to go even crazier. So let me just show you when they're overlaid. Now let's make the second bass. So for this sound, we're going to put oscillator A and oscillator B on, and we're going to use the same wavetable on each side. So we're going to grab this one here, the dist 8 bits, and we're going to do the same here under digital. And we're going to put this at -1 octave and this one at +1 octave. Next, what we're going to do is just come here and set this up. So PD from B, we're going to set that up and apply later. Turn this level down because we're going to apply later to that as well. Turn this level down as well because we're going to apply later to that. Next, let's come to the filter tab, turn on B, so it's going through both of these, and then we're going to turn the cutoff, the res, and the drive down because we're going to apply something to that as well right now. So let's now move across to this. We're going to turn this here, turn this up like this so it's very aggressive, and leave it like that, and then we're going to apply it to the PD at 43%, which is just there. Then we're going to apply it to the level at 100%, apply it to this wave position at 100%, apply it to this cutoff here at 52%, just there. Apply it to the res at 89%-ish, and then apply it to the drive at like 70-ish%. 71's fine. So we end up with this sound. Now I want to add a little bit of detuning to it, so we can do this by creating a new LFO shape like this. And then if we come into the matrix and go to LFO2, we can then come to global main tuning and just apply this at 2%. Literally just apply this at 2% here, and then if we play it now, get a little bit of detuning when it plays. Now let's come to the effects tab and brighten the sound up a little bit. So first, let's add a hyper dimension, and we're going to put the mix up a bit, turn the size down a little bit, and turn the mix down a little bit. Then we're going to add some distortion. We're going to leave it on tube and just turn this up, and this is where some of the sound starts to come out. Now let's add a compressor, and we're going to put this on multiband, and we're just going to turn up some of the settings on here. So turn up this to like 0.75-ish, turn this up, turn these up a little bit, just boosting everything a bit, just to add a bit more thickness. And now we really start to get that nice sound. But we need to add some more post-processing on it, like some reverb. So let me show you what we've then put on it. So we've started with EQ, just cutting out some of the highs, boosting some of the lows. Then we've put this Pro MB on it, and I think it's the same as the previous Reese bass. Then we've put this OTT on it. I think that might be similar as well. And then we've got this one at which I think is similar to the last one as well. And then the thing that's changing it quite a lot is this reverb. I like to put reverb on myself rather than doing it through Serum because it just sounds better for some reason when you do it afterwards, especially with Valhalla Room. And that's the reverb we've got. And then with a Pro L on it as well. And then it's playing this F note here. And then to get it even louder, you can max this main out here. But you could do that on the Pro L as well. And then adjusting that a little bit, you should have something that sounds like this. You'll notice there's also some sidechain here. So if you downloaded the free project template, I've got a Kickstart 2 on the bass bus. This is just sidechaining the bass every time the kick drum plays. You'll notice I've only got it hitting at 100% on the first kick drum of each 2 bars and not the supporting ones because it sounded a bit weird, the bass ducking over here with the Reese bass. So I decided to create this like little automation here, and that just fixed that issue. So if you have that issue as well, you may want to copy this. So we have it ducking when the first bass hit because that always sounds best, and then these groovy supporting kicks sounded okay, so I just left them without the Kickstart 2 on. And if you're a bit confused on how Kickstart 2 works, I'll leave a tutorial in the description down below so you can watch that. If you enjoyed this video, why not watch this video here where I make another Neuro DnB drop, and it sounds really filthy, and I'm sure you'll get much use of it and hopefully get it into your productions as well and get a crazy sounding track.